Well, hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies and Gents Listen Up. Alrighty, we promised you that we were going to come back with a part two on Loveless Marriage, and so here we are. But before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The word here being subscribe, make sure you hit that red button and the bell to know when we are posting new videos. So we have Mr. Rufus Carpenter here with us today. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing very, very well, Dr. Liz.
Good, good, good. Good to have you back here. Before we get started, we got to run on over and see what Grandma's cookie jar, what type of wisdom we have here in Grandma's cookie jar for today. And today's tip or wisdom, it says, it is up to you to see the beauty of everything. Wow. I think that's
let me write that down. It's up to you
to see the beauty.
To you to see the beauty in everything?
Yes, the beauty of everything.
Anything on the back of that? Like you always say, something's on the back? Nothing on the back of that?
Yeah, nothing on the back. We used the back yesterday. But actually, I can share it with you because yesterday's it says, stop wishing and start doing.
Oh, that's a good one too. Write that one down. You gave me two good ones today.
Stop wishing and start doing.
And start doing.
Yes, yes.
That's right on time and keeping what we're doing today, by the way. That's why I wrote it, because it's so much of what we're doing today. But before I start, I want again to acknowledge the fact that you are doing a marvelous job in our community, because a lot of things and a lot of wisdom that you put out into the marketplace, Dr. Liz, is invaluable to us. So I really appreciate you. Continue to serve at that level. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now let's get into our topic, loveless marriage.
Yes,
now, once again, I got to tell you that a lot of what I'm talking about in this loveless marriage, especially that part of it, is not firsthand information. Because again, I wasn't part of a loveless marriage. I loved my wife. So let's me share that I'm a reporter in the fact that people have shared with me, and I've seen people that went through a loveless marriage. So I'm able to talk on that. I'm able to be a reporter of what I've seen. Now, last week, we covered a lot. As a matter of fact, we covered so much last week that we had to continue into this week. And I want to make sure those that just tuned in that didn't get a chance to see last week, I want to give you a short summary of last week. Last week, we talked about if you're in a relationship and you're wondering, wondering what's going on, why am I here, what's going on, where is this taking me, what's the benefits, or you're in a relationship that you know what's going on and you don't like it, or you don't want to be a part of it, or you want to change that, or you want to correct that some form of fashion. I wanted to like I told you last time, I wanted to say I could give you 3 to 5 things that I've done or someone done that could make it better for you, and you come out better on the other side, which is where I can't, because you have to do the work. We established last week that you have to do the work. As a matter of fact, last week we even told you that life and time is broken down into 2 parts. And the first part of it is the past, and the second part is the future. Now, we had a little controversy between me and Dr. Liz, which didn't last long, that she said, what about the president? And I asked her if she was God, then she could have a president, because God is the only present person that he had the beginning, the middle, and the end all in front of him at one time. If you're human and walk in this earth like I am, then you have to deal with past and future. That's what you had. That's what you left with. And we worked through that, and we went through that, and we got that through that. We also talked about your why. The why was the biggest part of last week, and the fact that you have to understand why you go through stuff, why you're doing stuff, what are the benefits, what are the downsides, what are you missing out doing it. And we said the why was important because why helps you to get the mindset, it helps you to build momentum, and it helps you to build certainty in yourself. Then we discussed the who. Now we said the who sometime wasn't you. It wasn't the who's gonna actually fight your way out of the relationship, fight your way out of the trauma, fight your way out of whatever you're going through. The who sometimes, and a lot of times, is the who's that person, who's an outside force that's gonna come in and guide you to greener pasture or on safety. Who's gonna be that who? And when I said that, it made me think about the time when the disciples were in the boat and Jesus said, "Let's go to the other side," and the storm was really bad, and they said, "Oh my Lord, Jesus is sleeping and we're about to die," and they awakened him, and he said, "What? Peace, be still." He was in that circumstance. He was the who that calmed the storm and got them to the other side. There's sometimes you're going to need a who in your life. And that who could be a Dr. Liz. It could be a podcast that you listen to that give you those nuggets. It could be as simple as Grandma's cookie jar. Because Grandma's cookie jar said what it said. See the beauty in everything and stop wishing.
Absolutely.
If you don't like your relationship, stop wishing for a better one and start working on it.
Absolutely. I like something that you said. I wanted to piggyback on that when you talked about the person, because sometimes that's the missing element. We're because when you're in a relationship, whether it's abusive or whether it's just a loveless marriage, you're not leaning to somebody outside of that relationship to be able to assist you, somebody that you can trust, somebody that, some other information other than, okay, I have to do this myself. I have to get out of this myself. I just, you're not listening to that development. Eric Thomas talks about chase development. And oftentimes we fall short because we don't develop. And so we're just right here, just stuck in that, and it's still that past and future, I'm still trying to get that concept. I'm not fighting the process. I'm still working on getting that here. I'm like, okay, the now. I'm so much into, Eckhart Tolle talks about the now. And I'm like, wait a minute, now you done threw another wrench in the plan. Like, okay, wait a minute. I'm just figuring out the now, Life is a journey and not a destination. I'm in that mindset. Now you come in and you toss that up. So I'm still working through it, but yeah, thank you for that summary, so we can bring folks back up to speed.
Let's go to Einstein again, because Einstein said, like last time I told you, if you can't make it simple, you don't know it enough. You don't know don't know your subject well enough. So, but that's not what I wanted. That's not the Einstein I wanted to quote this time. This time I wanted to quote one. He said that if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you can get the same result. So if you're relying on your own understanding to pull yourself out of it, it's going to be a very difficult thing to do. And that's why the who is so important, because that who sometimes may not be you. It may be an outside force. It could be self-learning. It could be you taking a course, you getting a mentor. It could you get specialized training. There's so much that's at your fingertips because there's nothing new under the sun.
Absolutely.
A lot, this is not so much a religious talk, but this is giving you all that you have at your fingertips. Because if you're a Bible reader, and whether you are or not, that's your own business. But if you're a Bible reader, you understand that the Bible is a book of patterns. The Bible gives you stuff that's happening over and over again. And if you can understand those patterns, you can apply those patterns to your life so you know what to look forward to. And that's part of the who. That's why, and this is going to be messy. Let me tell you, today's going to be messy. So we may have to do a part 3 or part 2. Because there are some concepts that we have to work out today. And those concepts can get very messy. Because this is getting us to think about something we normally don't think about. But the thing about it is, life gets to be easy. It don't have to be hard.
Right.
Life gets to be very, very easy. If you in that loveless relationship, and you wonder, what the heck? What's going on here? I can't take another day. How do I fix this? That's what this day is all about. That's what the day, and if we do it next week, they're going to be all about. How do you fix that? Because life is short. Life is short. Like I said last week, all relationships require work, whether it's a great relationship or whether it's a loveless relationship. It requires work to get you through, because things erode in time. So you got to do that. So let's see. I think I've covered everything about last week. I think we covered about the two parts. There's a beginning and there's an ending, or goals or expected outcome in the future. That's what we're talking about. And also we gave some success work. Now I want to know how many people actually took the time to do success work. Remember, we said that you can either go to your trusted notebook that Dr. Liz has gotten as a way of life for the podcast, that you have your trusted notebook, and I began to do that. I wrote something down too. I began to take that. And also we said for those younger generation, or those that just not going to do a trusted notebook, you have your phone. Now, if you did just assess work last week, you have the why. You can go back and look at the why. You can actually look at what is it, where are you because you need a starting point. In everything, there's a start and there's a finish. If you prepare for a race, you know that you have to first, start developing the skills to get your body right, get your mind right, prepare for the race, and then you run the race. But first, you got to see first, what's the end goal? What goal do you want? Do you want to win the race? You just want to compete in the race? Do you just want to say you did it? You got to have some type of expected goal or outcome. And this race of life, I'm hoping that you, as well as I and Dr. Liz, we want to run it and run it well. And especially if you're our age, you want to finish it well too.
I'm still in that middle part. We not going.
So this week we'll talk about the what. The what. If you did your success work, you already know the why. You already know you already know where you are. You already know what your beginning part was. You know where you are. You're kind of grounded in that, and now you kind of see what you want or don't want. So now we're gonna deal with the what. Mm-hmm. The what is, what do you want your relationship to be going forward? What do you want the end result? What's your expected goal or outcome you want for that? If we say right now, everybody's listening, picture your relationship, marriage, entanglement, or whatever you call it, love affair. Picture that 1 year from today. And in that picture, I want you to see it as clear as you can see it, and see it in your best light, in your best possibility. See all your full potential, what it is. See yourself loving, see yourself kind, see the passion, see the romance, see the connection, see the hope. See, I want you just to see that. That's the what. That's the what. The clearer you can see that what, the better it is for you that year, in that 1 year. And once again, the success work this week is the what. We need, again, to get your trusted notebook or your phone, and we need to take 3 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there, 3 to 10 minutes of writing down what you want your relationship to look like a year from today. What's the highest, what you see is your highest possibility for your relationship in 1 year from today? This is December the 15th, 10 days before Christmas? So next year, 10 days before Christmas, you should be standing in your best possible relationship. So that's what we're building on. Right. That's what we're building on. So to do that, we have to do some work to get there. We just can't name it and claim it. We just can't, we can't just stop wishing it. We got to start doing it.
And you know what I like about that? I like about it's called self-actualization. So you're picturing it, you're feeling it, it's like when you're looking to go towards a certain goal, this is the work. And oftentimes, and that's why I stop us here, because oftentimes when we say this is the work, people have a question mark in their mind as, what do you mean? What's the work? What does that mean? So we're breaking it down into the simplest terms, like you said, about it being simple, meaning that if you see yourself, when we talk about like the topic, which is, we talk back to about the loveless marriage, but if you can't see yourself in a better place a year from now in that relationship, then there's some work that needs to be done for you to realize that, to really start questioning all of these tips and tools that we're giving you, but all of this work. So if you can't see yourself there in a year from now, it's like, what am I doing? We talked about that last week as well.
Yes, and last week you even mentioned that you get a chance to put the mirror in front of your face to see your own truth. I think you even made a comment about that, how they see their own truth, and you'll know for yourself it's true because you know you.
Absolutely.
And you said that, and when you said that, I said, man, Darren, that's good. I remember that.
Yes, that's it. But that's what I want to emphasize, that is the work, That's the work. And I think too, just, understanding and realizing oftentimes when your self-esteem has been so beaten down, you stop even paying attention to that person that's reflecting back to you in the mirror. You kind of glaze over it, and you don't even know that your voice counts, because it hasn't been, you've been going along to get along for so long that you don't even realize that your voice, that what you want, that's what's best for you, actually matters.
You say you want to feel like you're relevant. Is that correct?
Good. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And see, we're talking the same talk. And what we're doing right now, we're getting ourselves to that point. But it's messy. It's no right or wrong. It's no easy way. And you have to do the work. And this is why this might need to be a third part. Because today the concepts we want to get on, the concepts today is the what. What do you want to look like that year from now? If we concentrate on that today, and then next week we'll actually put it all together. Next week we'll put it all together, and we'll make that happen. We'll make that happen to the point where you can actually see it, and you can actually feel your results happening before they get there. It's almost like you be storing up. Almost like you're storing up your end result.
Absolutely.
Because we're in this race to win it. We're not in this race just to run. Mm-hmm. Now, like you said last week, if you love where you are in your relationship and you're happy with it, hey, sign off. You're good. Dr. Liz has been peace out. We straight. But if you're not where you feel you need to be or want to be, then you're the right place at the right time, because we're going to give you what you need. Now, I don't want to get too heavy in today, because if I bring a lot of concepts out, we're going to have to go through them, because I don't want to leave you hanging. Because, well, I'll give you part of it. Heck, I can't keep it. I'm over refrigerator. I can't keep nothing. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. What we're doing, the framework we're using is very simple. The framework we're going to use is mindset. It's your thoughts, getting your thoughts together so you can get that, so you can get your momentum and clarity. That's the mindset. And this is the concepts we're working now. The next part of this is the skill set. If you start doing the work and doing it over and over and over and over again, you're getting positive deposits back into you. You're getting positive deposits back into you. The more you do it, the more successful you get. You're getting positive deposits back into you. And it's called mastery. It's called mastery. You begin to master what you're doing. You become a master of it. You're giving God something to bless your hands. You're giving God something to bless. You're doing it with your hands. So you're getting mastery. And that's the skill set. The next part of this is a tool set. The tool set deals with the who. The tool set could be listening to Dr. Liz, subscribing, liking Dr. Liz podcast, because Dr. Liz is serving you at a very high level. She's giving you some tremendous nuggets. Matter of fact, the nuggets she gave me today, If it's up to you, wait a minute, where's that? See the beauty in the things you do, see the beauty in everything, and stop wishing and start doing. That's the day's lesson. That's the whole day's lesson. Came out of the cookies jar. So she's giving you the nuggets. She's giving you that. So that's a toolbox. So use her podcast. Go ahead and sign, like, subscribe, and all that rest of the YouTube things. Go ahead and do it because she's serving you at a very high level. Understand that. See it. Ask God to open your eyes so you can see what she's doing for you or with you. This and the two, they could be outside courses. You could be going to college, or you could be doing self-learning. Or you can be modeling somebody you know that's successful in their marriage or relationship, or you get a mentor to teach you. That's the tool set. That's the tool set. That tool set. Use those tools to get better. And if you get the mindset right, the skill set right, the tool set right, then you have access to a better relationship, a better life, a better future, a better outcome. That's the framework that we're trying to build with you today. And tomorrow, we started last week, this week, and we're going to build next week. No matter what I say or how I say it, whether it comes out right, whether it comes out wrong, I get excited when I talk about this kind of stuff. And I chew my words, I jump out, I just get excited. This is great stuff for me.
Absolutely. That's just passion though. And that's real. You know, that's real. That's passion. That's why I do what I do as far as bringing this information because, you know, and then we're getting feedback about the information and how it's helping people. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to serve people, right? We want to become, you know, masters at serving. They say, what is it? You help enough people get what they want and you'll get everything that you want, right?
Yes,
That's huge.
yes,
That's huge because you're coming out selfless. You know, a couple other points that I wanted to make about what you said. Two things. One, about in every adversity, there's a seed of greatness. One of my coaches, Coach Michael Matthews, taught me that. And when he told me that, that was just like, there's certain times when certain light bulbs come on. And then certain, you know, just like you can continue to, again, I love Eric Thomas. He talked about, you know, constantly chasing development. And sometimes we're chasing other things. But if you chase your development, you get everything that you want, everything that you need by chasing your development, you know. And then lastly, one of the other things, though, when you talked about the journaling is so crucially important. I took a look back, which was one of the things that I teach here, is I took a look at 2022 because we're at the end of our last fourth quarter of 2022. So I looked at 2022. And I was so amazed that the majority of the things on my 2022 goal list, because I don't do New Year's resolutions. Most people stop those by February or March. The gyms are empty now, right? Because you started at the beginning and you don't complete it. But when you write your goals down and you check in, whether it's quarterly, whether it's whatever amount of time, but at least quarterly, check in on those goals. And when I looked up this month, the majority of the things that I wanted to accomplish in 2022 have been accomplished. Some of it was pivots, but it was fine. It's okay to pivot. But I noted that down. And you keep journaling and you'll see your growth. You'll see your development. One of the other things we're going to put down in this podcast, we're going to put down a link because a lot of people, where to get your journals from. And in an upcoming podcast, we're going to teach how to effectively create and put your journal together because there is a method to it that's going to help you to be able to, you know, keep track of everything, keep track of your thoughts. I'm telling you, I'm creative. And if I just kept everything in my mind, I probably would implode. So I have to journal in certain ways. So we're going to bring that information to you as well. But this has been really, really, really helpful, you know, at giving bite-sized pieces. So I'm glad we decided to break it up into part 1, part 2, part 3, so that the information can start to resonate. Everybody can get their notes in order. And then, like you said, build on that toolbox because you never know. Like what we just said, in every adversity, there is a seed of greatness, right? But you have to find that greatness. You have to decide, yes, you know, and there's no, I don't have to make it a secret. You know, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So I understand what a good relationship looks like. I understand what a bad relationship looks like. So I had to find those seeds of greatness because, you know, I could have just sat there and, you know, licked my wounds and, oh, woe is me. Or you get up, you learn from it, and you turn those those stumbling blocks into hurdles, and that helps you to walk into a brighter future, a better day. But again, I love the self-actualization that you talked about, because you have to believe it for yourself. And as you continue to go, you'll get better and better and better. And you will be able to, connect with people that are going to help pour into you. That's the other thing. Don't allow people, even if it's in a relationship, even if it's no matter what, one of the signs is when somebody tries to isolate you, because they're isolating you because now they're your source of reference. There's no other information coming in. If somebody truly cares about you, they want you to grow. They want you to develop.
That's it.
They don't have an insecurity about you being your best self. You don't have to dumb down. I wanted to bring in, I put a note out there too. I wanted to bring up the interview that I saw with Oprah. She was interviewing Whitney Houston and talking about her relationship with Bobby Brown. That was such a powerful interview, because all along the way, as she was building her career and as they got married, I saw her starting to dwindle her light. I saw it happening. So when I saw that interview, I was like, wow, what I observed was true, because she said that. It was her own, out of her own words, that was something that she was very conscious of because of her upbringing. Her upbringing was that you support your husband, you stand behind your husband, no matter what. Once you're married, you're in it. So once you commit to it, no matter what happens, you're committed to it. And so again, that was her thought process. So no matter how big and how, accomplished she got, she couldn't be her full self in that marriage because of his insecurities and because of some of the things that, the way that, he thought things should go, So that's one of the things that I talk to our ladies about when we're talking about loveless marriages or loveless relationships. You deserve to be loved and to be loved in the fullest, and not to have to settle for something less than what you deserve. But it takes for you to work on yourself to understand that you deserve it.
Wow, Dr. Liz, you put so much out there, Dr. Liz. Ooh, you got my head, girl. Because you gave me about 8 different things, and if I talk about all that, we
This might be a mini series versus a part 1, part 2, part 3. The Loveless Marriage series.
That was deep. That was deep, because a lot of what you shared, it goes back to our framework. Mindset, skill set, tool set. And if you work on that, you have the access to a better future, a better relationship, a better outcome, stronger goals, stronger connection, stronger relationship. So if you let's journal. So let's journal this. So we make sure we got this. We're talking about skills. We're talking about mindset. And that's the thought process. Let's talk about skill set. And that's the doing. That's putting your hands, getting your hands dirty, going out there doing it. That's getting the small deposits back into you, giving God something to bless, because you work with your hands. He said he'll bless whatever you put your hands to. And if you put your hands to your relationship, he'll bless your relationship. So give God something to bless. That's the skill set. Tool set is, where do you get your information from? What do you trust to feed into your soul, to feed into your heart, to feed into your relationship? This your podcast, Dr. Liz podcast, is a great source. She's serving the community. She's serving you at such a higher level. Get you a mentor. Get role model people that you know are successful. Now, when I say people are successful, people that's proven themselves, because a lot of times people dress up a lot better than what they're going through. So don't get confused when I say that. Make sure you're giving your loyalty to someone that's proven, because everything that looks good ain't good. So make sure, I don't want you to say, Rufus told me that. No. I want you to understand that. So then if you do these 3 things, you get access, you get to have a better future, better life. Now, Dr. Liz was talking about how she looked back at her journal, she could see how she started in 2022. Now, listen to what I asked you when I said we're talking about your what? I said what it's going to look like a year from now, which is December 23. So now we don't want you just to look back. We want you to work forward into the future because there's no present. So we want you to start and work into your future. So we're getting you future focus. And here's the beautiful concept that I want you to understand today is I want you to have a compelling future. Need to write that down. How you spell compelling, Dr. Liz, so I can write it down too. How you spell compelling?
So COMPELLING. I believe that's it right there. Don't have me messing up a word on the big screen.
So you have a compelling future. So if you already know, we already said that what is your highest possibility, your relationship, a year from now, 2023, what it's going to look like, standing in your highest performance, what's your full potential of your relationship, what's the best out there. I want you to take the blinders off. Just let it happen. Well, I can't have this because my mom and daddy, they divorced when I was young. I never knew my father. This ain't about all that. This ain't about all that. This is about what you see your best future. Where do you want to be?
Yeah. I wanted to add this too. If all of that comes up, what you just said, as far as, if when you're looking at your future and looking at, focusing on the future, if all of that starts to come up, then that's something that's triggering you to tell you that you need additional assistance, that you need help, that you need therapy. We in our culture, we don't want to go get help when there's something going on with us mentally. We suppress it, and all of that suppression, that's toxic. Now I'm going into naturopathic work, but that's toxic, right? Those emotions are toxic. You pair it to when you're getting on the roller coaster ride, because I couldn't understand it for the longest. That was a block for me too. How is something I feel emotionally? How is that? How is that toxic? That's not but it is a chemical release that goes on. But you just pair it to or bring it to the example of when you get on a roller coaster ride and you know how you're going up and the anticipation of what's going to happen when you go down. Those chemical reaction happening in your body. So when you slam down and that's that. So what I was saying is that when all that emotion starts coming up, that baggage starts coming up, those are blockers. Those are terror barriers, right? So those are things that trigger you to say, I need additional assistance because what I'm working with right now is not sufficient for me to get to where I want to go. So now you must look outside of yourself. And if you're in a toxic relationship, you can't look in that relationship because everything is going to point towards you as you're the guilty party. Especially, we talked a little bit about narcissists and narcissistic relationships. So I just want to just impress upon us to understand that, yes, we have to go outside of ourselves. That's where we talked about that other person, that third party that can give you some information. And sometimes when we're on the helping side of that, just because a person does not hear you right then does not mean that the information that you're giving them or the sources is not penetrating. It may be sitting on that back burner, and then when they are ready, they'll use that resource to help them, to propel them out of that. So I just said that because I know when we were doing the daddy-daughter dynamic, the second book, that bestseller, by the way, that book, a lot of emotion came up. I thought I was over the daddy-daughter dynamic, but a lot of it came up. It's okay to cry. It's emotions. It's toxicity coming out. But all of that stuff started to come up. But you do need help, like you said, to move on to the next level and to really get out of there. So, yeah, don't just push it aside. Deal with it.
Correct. And we call it, in what we do, we call it the root. When you have fruit, you got to figure out what the root is. We call that root. And we'll talk about that next week because that's part of this, but we don't want to cover that because we get into that. It will be another hour just trying to break the root down. So we're gonna leave the root alone. See, you're an herbalist, so you know about the roots. Okay, so let's start bringing this on home. Let's start bringing it home because we got a lot of stuff out there right now. Let's start bringing it home because we want to make this. We want to keep this in a learning block. Okay, absolutely. So we talked about compelling future. We've introduced what's called a compelling future. Your compelling future is the what? It's the what's going to help you out. What's going to help you with your mindset, your skill set, your tool set, and give you access to a better future in your relationship. We talked about what do you want it to be. So now this is the what. So the success work is the what. Once again, I want you to take out your journal, take out your trusty notebook or your phone, and we're gonna success work. We're gonna go ahead and say to ourselves what we feel our best life or our best outcome or best expected outcome of what our relationship will look like 1 year from today. December the 15th, 2023, we want to be standing in what our best relationship will look like, our fullest possibility, our best life in terms of relationship, whether it's a marriage or whether it's a relationship. Whether it's a contractual marriage or whether it's a loveless marriage, a loveless marriage. We want to look at that. Now, last week I asked you to either get your phone or a piece of paper. This week I'm going to say get your notebook out or your phone. Now, before Dr. Liz and I started, I took a moment to get paper and write out what I think a best relationship look like, because I want to give you an example. I want to be able to tell you and give you examples so you know what we're talking about. So it won't be so you won't see it as such a big task. It's easy, super easy. Take somewhere between 3 to 10 minutes to do it. I wrote mine down. I wrote one down. Here's what I wrote down. And once again, this is you writing. This is your words. You're writing it for yourself. No one else needs to see this. And I need to tell you that no one needs to see this because I got a lot of input this last week from what I said. I said, I was teaching a class. I said, these examples. Man,
I actually heard it, being a female myself. I heard it, but I actually heard it in a good way. I was like, I heard the good part of it. I was like, okay, but then you gave 2 more examples. So I said, well, he gave the first example of possibly the truth, and then he gave 2 other examples. So I said, I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna do this assignment, and I'm transparent on here. So I'm transparent about it. So I'll share mine next week, but I'm gonna do the work myself. This is gonna be fun.
And I said, what? So I said, let me write myself.
I don't have nobody to get beat up from, so I can be good. I can be transparent. Go ahead. So, I think you need my mug today. It says hug in a mug. I think you need that today.
All right. So here's mine. And what I did, I took a moment to ask the Lord to help me too. I asked the Lord to help me to write down the right words that will help me to say to my loved one or say to my love. And this is me talking to myself now. No one else is in here but me talking to myself. Now, you're not listening. You're not hearing this. It's me talking to myself. And that's how you need to be doing yours. Don't write it for someone else to look to it. Write it for yourself, for your own heart. And that's what I said. Lord, I always want to be the comfort for my spouse or my other significant others. I want my love to be all. I want my love to be all the hope that's needed. When I come home, I want to always acknowledge just how special those moments are and how grateful I am for those moments. Let no love be left unexpressed. No conflicts left unresolved. No forgiveness left ungranted, and no encouragement or gratefulness to be left unsaid. Again, I always want to be the comforter. I'm looking for more passion. I want to be creative in my love. I want to be a strong, powerful, loving partner. And that's what I wrote.
So is the assignment what you want both ways, or is the assignment what you want to give? What is the assignment?
it's how I see it. It could be however you want to do it. It's what because this fits your needs, not my needs. If you need it to be how both of y'all, how that look on both of y'all end, or you need it to look how you're going to contribute. And I'll tell you why. Once I finish talking, I'll tell you why it's that way. And it's how you see it. Because this, I don't know how you think. I'm quirky. I think kind of funny. So you might think normal. You might think, well, hey, look, it's me and her, or me and him together, or me, him, and him, whatever it is.
My listeners know that, or followers know that I'm very quirky, so they're going to get a treat next week.
Yeah, so you have to put what's important to you. And
Okay.
I wrote that, and that's an example. Now let me see. And we had 3 last week. Do you want me to do 3 examples today, or just that's sufficient?
Yeah, well, you can do a second one, and then we'll start to wrap up because we're almost at time.
All right. So second one, I'll do the second one on the phone, and the second one is for which one of the 2? That was for love, and the other one was for love. The other one's for somebody I just met. I'll do somebody I just met. I think the second one last week was somebody I just met. Come on, phone, work with me here. You write that, what's called may be better, Dr. Liz.
The journal. You can always go back to it.
Journal may be a lot better. Okay, come on, thing. How do you turn this doggone thing? Getting old ain't easy. All right, got it. All right, now what I'm doing, and again, I'm talking to myself. Now, I'm not talking to none of you. This is for me. And this is for video. And this is for someone that I just met. Okay. Next year, this time, I wish that this relationship where I just met this someone that we get to know, that I know her, she knows me, and we're able to look at each other with a passion of knowing that we put in the work, that we spent 12 months of getting to where we are today, that there was no stone unturned, there's no moment unanswered, there's no animosity, nothing withheld from our hearts or ourselves, that we went full force, that I did all I needed to do, that I did everything I could to create an environment where she could love me and I could love her, and we could be our best self, and we could just look to a future where we can just serve each other to the fullest. Done.
Awesome.
All right. So that's that. And the reason why we did these, and reason why you're doing this, because you're trying to create an environment that make people want to love you. You're trying to create an environment where people will love you no matter what. Because this is sincere. This is you doing it from the heart. This is not nothing you just wrote on paper. This is what you feel in your heart. Mean this. This is not a scheme, guys. This is not a scam. This is not a scheme. We're not trying to trick nobody into being with us or loving us, or we're not trying to trick ourselves into loving anybody or being with anybody. This is from the heart. This is the work that you got to do, that you want to do, that you feel obligated to do. Not so much obligated from what a person will get or not get. Obligated because you want to be to yourself. You want to live your best life.
Yeah.
You're 100% committed to yourself first before you can 100% commit to somebody else. Like, again, if you're a drowning man, you can't save me. Broken people hurt people. So you have to first take care of you so you can take care of me. Create an environment where someone want to love you, where they can't help, man, this is my boo. This is my boo thing. I'm gonna be there.
I want to add something to the other thing, because I really gave it some thought and a lot of study about the broken people hurt people. Mm-hmm. Or hurt people. And what I come to realize too is that hurt or broken people choose to hurt other people, because everything is a choice.
Yep.
Right? So even doing the work that we're talking about, it's a choice. Ignoring that you need to do the work is still a choice. The choices are going to yield a different result. So if you want to get the result that you're talking about in your future, these are the steps. So this is a possible, way to work through it and to work it out. Mm-hmm. And it's up to you to choose whether you continue to work with it or not. So is there anything that you want to leave with us to wrap up before we get into next week?
Let's give a quick summary because we went through a lot and we were all over the place. You and I just had fun. Matter of fact, you came out your shell this time, Dr. Liz. We
I
had
do the
fun.
work. I've been doing the work for years.
So let's make sure. All right, what we talked about today, we talked about first reviewing your why. We talked about the who. This week we introduced the what. And we said the what is the what you want your relationship to look like 12 months from today, standing in your highest possibility, living full out. And we call that a compelling future. If you build a compelling future, which is the expected goal 12 months from today, that will give you the momentum, that will give you the certainty to run that race, to do the work. We talked about the framework. The framework is the mindset, having the right mindset. Man, I'm in this to win this, man. Hey, this is a thought process that I need to get to where I need to go. We talked about the skill set. The skill set is putting your hands down there, doing the work, getting dirty, rolling up your sleeves, getting all messy with it, getting in there. That's the skill set. And the more you do it, the more deposits you get back into yourself, you get mastery. You get better at it. Then we talked about the tool set, the things outside of relationship to make it better. We talked about Dr. Liz podcast as being one of those two things in your toolkit. We talked about getting a mentor. We talked about getting other sources, self-education, self-learning. And then we said if you put these three things together, then you have assets to a better, brighter future. That here again, that compelling outcome. I mean, that compelling future will drive that train for you. Look to create an environment where someone want to love you. Hell, well, you want to love yourself. Hell, if you get that future good enough. And that's it, Dr. Liz. That's all I want to say.
Man, you dropped the mic on us today for sure, for sure. We are so appreciative of everything that you bring to the table and your willingness to share it to help other people. You know, blessings tenfold back to all that the Business Creation Institute BCI has to offer. You know, and I'm just grateful for our collaboration and our partnership. You know, I want to leave everybody with a couple of things. We're going to connect this to part one so that you're able to just click on as you finish and you're able to click on because you definitely want to catch up with us. We're also going to put the link so that you can purchase some of your journals. You can decide, you know, like I said, for myself, and I'm adding, this is actually one of my master journals, right? I tab it up and do all of that. We're going to teach that in a course as well. But for you to be able to, you know, collect, personalize it. I love inspirational quotes, inspirational sayings. It helps to motivate me. It helps to motivate me when I'm journaling or when I'm writing or whatever I'm doing. It helps me to do that, to be in a positive frame of reference, a positive state of mind, and also to have positive people around me. So we're going to provide those tools for you, but make sure that you go back and that you watch part one, and we're going to come back with part 3 on next week. But also, I mean, we may turn it into a mini series because this is great information, and you can walk along with us as you continue to do your work and to get your brighter future. All righty, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. Listen, learn, and leverage this information. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
See you, Dr. Liz.